All right, 90-day challengers. This is video number 5. Okay, so we've talked about your carb cycle, macros, things of that nature. Now we're going to go into exactly what does a no day look like. Okay, so remember that no day purpose being high protein, high fat, low carbohydrate intake, starch, carbs especially. So after the 90-day challenge is over, this is super important to learn this because you can adapt and put this into your lifestyle regardless of whether or not you're eating out or things of that nature. You can just think about when you look at food, hey, that's a high carb, but that's fat that's mixed with it. I can't have that, or remove these items to make it fit into your macros essentially. So right now for the 90-day challenge, we want to focus on our certain percentages that we're going to have. Now, the key before we start all that is how do we determine on our calorie intake. If anybody ever tells you that your calorie intake requirement is 1,500, 2,000 calories, something of that nature, it's very generic. So we're going to come up with a number that's more precise. Okay, so the things that you're going to need is you're going to need your body fat composition, okay, and your weight, so your measurements. Now, a lot of you guys haven't scheduled your appointment yet for this to be done, but you guys need to go ahead and schedule this for your second set of measurements because you're going to need these numbers to develop your calorie intake. So we're going to use for example, let's say we've got somebody that's 160 pounds, okay, all right. We do the body fat measurements, and then we determine that this person is went from 23 to, let's say, 17, okay? So you guys are going to need your calculators out and your paper, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take 160, okay? And let's say this person is now at 17%. So 160 times 0.17, because that's the 17%, okay? So 160 times the 0.17, that's going to give us 27, basically 0.2, let's just call it 27. Now this is 27 pounds of body fat, okay? Body fat, okay? So that's the actual amount of pounds of body fat that the body's holding, and then everything else outside of that is water, lean tissue, bones, things of that nature. So it's what we call our lean body mass, okay? So body fat minus our actual weight is what's going to give us our lean body mass, all right? So we take that 160, we minus the 27, and that's going to give us 133 pounds of what we call our lean body mass. So that's the number that we need to determine our calorie intake. Okay, now because the reason why is this is our lean muscle mass and our lean body mass. We don't want to starve any of this. We want to feed this the calories required to continually feed this and to grow our body and then to lose any of this extra weight up here, this body fat. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your lean body mass number, so the 133, and you're going to take that times 11. Okay, so 133 times 11 is what you're going to do, and that number becomes 1463. Okay, so that is the calorie requirement for this individual to feed the lean body mass that they have right now. All right, so this is their calorie intake. Now this is their calorie intake at rest. All right, so as soon as they get up and you start doing activities, this calorie number starts to change for most people. Okay, so you have your resting metabolic rate, which is what this is, then you have your basal metabolic rate as well, where you start adding calories in. For most of you guys, I want us to stay at this resting metabolic rate until we feel that it needs to be changed or adjusted. All right, so this person now, 1463, is what we consider to be their calorie intake that we want them to have for them on a no or a high day. All right, guys, so this is how you develop your calories needed. All right, so now let's see how we're going to take the calories and then incorporate that into our no and our high days. Okay, so that's our next video. Thanks, guys.